Hey guys, sorry for the wonky background. It is clearly just a computer screen the way it is pixelated and light is hitting it. I just try and have a cool background. I am not good at editing. Hopefully I'll get some lessons one day, who knows. I just wanted to show you something. Uh, I've talked about this. I think I showed it. I'm not certain. I didn't make a dedicated video to it. I have so many content ideas, I lose track of so many things. So if you don't know, the PSA really doesn't want you to use top loaders. They want you to use their card savers, and they charge like, I want to say like $1 per card saver. And so if you card save in penny sleeve, you're talking like $1.02. And the reason why I'm like shaking my head about that is I don't like the fact that the card savers aren't that strong. The whole point of the card saver, and they do this dedicated thing correctly, is the card doesn't slide around in the card saver. It's purposely designed so when you put it in, it won't get whitening, whatever you want to call it, whiting, silvering, stuff like that. That occurs from when your card gets beat up, either from use, play, or even within a top loader if it slides around the top loader too much. So I'm going to show you something in terms of you'd be okay if you did this. So this is how I package. So these are the 20 that we did for 20 more cards we're about to send into the PSA. And this is how I have top loaded them. So this is 20 cards. And the way you do it is, so top loaders have strong side ridges. There's extra reinforced plastic on the sides, and there's extra reinforced plastic on the bottom. However, that's not up top because you got to be able to put your card in the top loader. So the top isn't as strong, and you can see even with this, and this is a super weak rubber band, it is pulling it inwards a little bit on both this side and this side. Now that's why you use a super weak rubber band, so it's not putting any force on the card. That's really not putting any force on the card. It's just bending the lips of the plastic. It's no big deal. But the PSA, they're very purposely finicky in my opinion. So they don't want you, the other thing that makes it more difficult to make sure that you won't use a top loader is they say we don't accept it if you put a tape or sticker on the over top of your top loader to prevent the card from falling out. That's fine. Here's the trick. Use these really weak rubber bands. So the cards, even if your package is sent upside down and it constantly shakes and they constantly move more and more downwards, as if you don't know, cards can move around the top loader. That's the disadvantage of them, is if you use these weak rubber bands, they're going to retain the cards within the top loader. And generally, if you use a correct sleeve, or if you use a little bit heavier sleeve like this, I believe looks like this Epsilon has a slightly heavier sleeve. Like for example, this card in the back has a slightly stronger sleeve. And why do I do that? Because they just happen to be in that. Sometimes I get these sleeves for free when I do big purchases from people, so it's really no big deal to me whether I use this sleeve or a penny sleeve. I'll sleeve it however I can, and you can even see I use like really aged, like browned out top loaders. And then the other thing is you use a slightly stronger, you don't have to use a super strong rubber band, but in terms of preventing the cards from whittling around too much in their package, I use a little bit thicker, stronger rubber band for the sides. And the sides are already reinforced plastic, so these rubber bands aren't going to damage the sides of the cards at all because that plastic's already reinforced. So this is how I send it in, and then if I send it in a bubble mailer, I won't bother bubble wrapping it, but I might send this one in a box. And of course you want to try and send it in the most proper tight-fitting packaging that you have. I wouldn't suggest going buying a box. I would suggest use the boxes that you get from any purchases you do via Amazon, eBay, or any other sort of e-commerce, and then just bubble wrapping it. I have some extra bubble wrap here and there, so I'm thinking about sending these in via a box. Ironically, this will probably fit the PSA box the PSA sent me my PSA Charizard in, and they also sent me a ton of bubble wrap. So I'm pretty much probably just going to repackage this in the box they sent me, make sure I cover up all the other shipping labels so there's no shipping issue, and it gets to them. And that should prevent pretty much all the damage. You want to make sure that you have the bubble wrap and everything tight enough to where the cards aren't going to move around at all. And also though, you don't have to do cardboard If you're going to do them bubble wrap inside a box and they're already in top loaders, the cardboard's really more if you use card savers, because the card savers aren't hard plastic. They're not going to necessarily protect from other sorts of punctures and stuff and scratching. They're just made to prevent your card from moving around. They do provide a little bit extra protection over a penny sleeve, especially since you're supposed to put them in with a penny sleeve. But in terms of my favorite form of protection, it's top loader for cost. I think they charge too much for card savers, and I think card savers are overrated. Remember also, when you send these things in, the PSA does not send you your top loaders or sleeves back. So you do want to try and use your most minimal sleeve, the sleeves you don't care about but will still protect the card correctly. And same with the top loaders. That's why I use these aged top loaders. They don't go into the grading factor. Now, the other thing that I did too with these 20 cards to try and maximize my dollars, these are also going to take a while to come back because I'm only paying for the $10 grading service, which is the cheapest one you can get. What I did is I put them all at a value of $199 each, which is the maximum declared value you can do on the $10 grading service. Now, why did I do that? Especially since there's some Charizards in here, and I think there's a possible PSA 9 to 10 Dark Charizard, which is worth several grand. Well, some of these cards are only worth $40 to $50 as PSA 9s to 10s as is, and some of them are worth $100, some of them are worth $500 to $1,000 here and there. So why I did that to where I wasn't forced to do a higher service is you're insuring the shipping. So here's the deal, and this will become a legal battle if this happens to you, but you're going to win. And so what it is I basically insured these 20 cards for $4,000 is basically what I did. A little bit below $4,000, it was $199 times 20. But I basically insured these for $3,980. And it's the whole bunch. So that's for the shipping part. So you're not going to lose one card in a properly packaged thing. So if, for example, someone felt, I don't know, they weren't paid enough at the PSA and they saw that you only insured your Charizard that came out a PSA 10, if they saw that you only insured it for $199, well, you may come back with only 19 cards. Here's the thing. That then now becomes a legal battle with PSA for theft, which has nothing to do with you insuring your package. So if I receive only 19 cards back, that's not going to be covered. They'll try and waive it that way, but hit up a lawyer and get your money's worth if that happens to you. I'm not saying the PSA is a sleazy service. I will compliment them for one thing. Because if you know, I do crap on the PSA a lot right now. There is one thing they do that I agree on, which is pretty cool. They don't charge you any of the costs until either the service ends or until the service actually officially begins. So that's when they finally start all the grading and doing the service for your card, which is good because they're super far behind. That'd be ridiculous if they were charging people like $1,000 for cards and then you got your cards back like 8 months later. I still disagree with the time frame of how long they take and how they're not meeting their obligations and they're not giving any discounts or rebates or anything for obligations they don't meet. That's how normal business works for every business, and they're using COVID as an excuse, which is silly, but neither here nor there. Sorry, I had to drink some stuff down. So my other suggestion, and this is just I don't have any practice with them yet, because I'm dedicated to a PSA membership. Granted, they're not giving any discounts for grading Pokemon cards, whether you do bulk or whether you're a member, so that was kind of a waste of money. I would suggest do the BGS. I have other reasons why. I'll mention that in another video when I talk about my friend's story, which is pretty funny in my opinion. But in the meantime, if you want to get a decent little card that's from, a little bit older era, we are doing a giveaway. Now, we're not doing this giveaway till we hit 100 subs. I'm sorry. I know, he just wants subs. it just helps with us producing higher end giveaways. So we're giving away this non-hollow fossil hypno. As soon as we have 100 subs, we'll drop a video on it. It's going to come in this penny sleeve and top loader. There's just a little bit of whiting. I mean, it's not a little bit, but it's a little bit of whiting. Probably a PSA 6 to 7 card, really. I know people are like, oh, I wish it was hollow. I wish it was hollow too. When we get higher in subs, we'll start giving away hollows and stuff. We've already given a hollow away before. We gave away a hollow pincer from the Jungle era. So, yeah, we're really hoping to do more giveaways. We always like doing giveaways. We always like hearing from people. I always like getting genuine content back in terms of comments. Some people are really great about that. I love shout outs. Some people know that. Thanks. And we try and do the same. I know I just mentioned in one video that it's about money, and it is. I wouldn't say it's all about money. I would say the money definitely helps, especially with producing more content. But I would say there definitely is a community out there. A lot of people definitely know each other who are in this, and that's really cool. I really think that's neat. Really hope to meet some of these people in person one day. But they won't know unless I tell them, because I don't reveal my identity, which is fantastic. So yeah, I just want to show you all little tips on when you're sending stuff in the PSA, and really there's no point in sending gigantic amounts of cards at once. You do need to do them 20 cards at a time, because that's the minimum for the $10 per card. So you do need to do that. My suggestion is mix in an expensive card with your other 19 sort of expensive, not really expensive cards, and then maximize the insurance for $199 per card, because as I said, in order for, that way the insurance claim is if the whole package goes missing or gets damaged, versus if all of a sudden someone at the PSA goes, oh, this guy only insured his first edition Charizard for $200, which really, if you're sending in a first edition Charizard, you should be sending that into a much higher service to speed up your profit and time and value, and insurance safety. But let's just use like a base set 2 Charizard. Base set 2 Charizard, PSA like 6 to 8. Like really, there's high asking prices, but really they're going for like $500, $800. Nothing too nuts compared to some of the other cards. Slip that in with some of your cards that are worth like $100, and max insure everything, and if only the Charizard goes missing, that's a lawsuit against PSA, whether they want to hear that or not. That's true. That's legality for theft, nearly grand theft. Grand theft isn't limited to cars. Grand theft is it's a category for anything over, like, I believe $1,000 to I think $3,000 or something. There's a certain mark for it. So yeah, there's no need to max insure one card when you can send in multiple and just max insure all of them, and that will cover you. I may take a risk sending, so their insurance costs less than when you do it. So when I send through USPS, if I were to insure for $4,000, the shipping and the insurance in total comes out to like $70. I don't know why they charge so much more versus the other sender. Maybe I'll do UPS and look into that. But yeah, insurance sending yourself for some reason is super high. It is a cost. There is a benefit to it. If your package goes missing, you're covered. But just keep that in consideration, and hope your investments go well. Thanks. Bye.